Yes, welcome back, Looney listeners. You are listening to Into the Night, the Moon Knight podcast. This is episode 265, and it is a live stream again. So, welcome everybody out there in internet land. I am one of the High Pressure Conchu Ray, and joining me for a Moonshine, a new comic book review, as always, is the other High Priest, Rebecca.
I
Rebecca,
know we've
welcome
had a pretty
back.
good run, haven't we? Hi. Yeah, I mean, like
We
we've been quite lucky with timings and
We have, yeah, we have. Rebecca, I must say, for those that can see the video, I just noticed your t-shirt.
my epic drawing. I want you to know it was chosen very carefully. I've had this since I was about
What
16.
the?
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I thought we'll see who actually watches the video. So,
Fair enough. Fair enough. Anyway, I'm not going to mention it. Loonies, you'll have to see the video to know what I'm talking about. But anyway, Looney listeners, we're here for, of course, as I said, a new comic book review. It is Moon Knight, Volume 9, Issue 8. It's another entry from the team of Jed MacKay, Alessandro, Cappuccio, and oh my gosh, Rebecca, if I can just praise Rachelle Rosenberg for the colours for this
yeah,
issue.
I mean, like,
Oh
just
my
not
god.
everyone's on point again, and yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful issue that everyone should buy, even if it's just to appreciate the art and the color, obviously.
Yes, absolutely. Before any of that, of course, just a big thank you to all our patronies. Now, a big shout out to one of our latest patronies, a new member. So a big thank you to Matthew Howell, one of the hosts from Werewolf by Night, the Werewolf by Night
That's
podcast.
very
He,
nominative determinism there.
yes, yes. Thank you, Matthew, so much for joining, Rebecca. What does that mean?
It means when your name expresses what you feel.
Oh,
So for
yep,
example, like when I broke my
yes,
hand, I saw Mr. Hand, the hand
yeah.
surgeon, Matthew Howell of Woolworth by Night. It's
I
very
know, crazy. It's crazy. I thought that as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
I just
know.
kept.
It's just like yeah. So now you know the
I
name
just.
for it. Like
And Matthew as well for patronies such as Matthew will be privy to. We did a bonus episode for the patronies. Rebecca, we
I
did
saw.
let let's get sheet faced.
Yes.
It was a little bit of cocktail mixing. It was a lot of fun. A big thank you to the hosts Matthew and Jacob, and of course the power of Chad for that one. Also as well. Thanking Drew Toombs and Daniel Doing, top tier patronies, as well as CLZ Comics and Dreamland Comics from Schoenberg, Illinois. So, Rebecca,
Yeah.
we're here. Look, in the prompt sheet, I don't know if you've seen it. I had another relook. I don't know if it's entirely correct. I saw this in our group and I thought, wow, this is
Mhm.
pretty cool. But it may not be correct, right?
Well, I don't know. I have literally no idea. I thought because I also saw it on the Facebook page, I thought I should go and look and see where it came from.
Mhm.
Uh, for everyone wondering, we're talking about a list of Moon Knight episode titles.
Yeah.
It seems weird that it hasn't been spread widely across the net in all the clickbait sites. But that
Yep.
doesn't mean again. So I went to the Instagram that the picture came from because it's got a thingy mark on it. What do you call it? A watermark on it. So I went to that
Mhm.
the Instagram, and they say it's from the TV Time app, which is American only.
Right.
So I didn't bother. I'm not going to install that. I'm not that keen to install random apps on my phone.
Yeah, me too.
I think the only thing that makes me suspicious about it is that they had a Miss Marvel listing too, and that seems really early for a list of
Okay.
episode titles for Miss Marvel. But let's run through them, and so I mean, because Moon Knight, it's feasible. I think we got the Iron Fist episode titles about this far in advance of Iron Fist dropping, so
Mhm.
it's not unheard of.
It's
They
starting to
seem
sound less and
very on
less.
point to me.
Yeah.
Like ones that I would guess at. But that doesn't mean they're wrong. Like it just means that maybe they're not very exciting. So I'll read through them. Season
Mhm.
1. So episode 1, Disassociation.
Is that
as
already a mistake there,
well,
Rebecca?
many
or-
people have pointed that out on the Facebook page. Thank you to all of them. That we would be looking at dissociation if we're
Mhm.
talking about dissociative identity disorder, but that
Yes.
it could be a play on words. So
Could be. I
it
don't.
seems it seems an odd one to start the series with. Again,
Mhm.
though, we go in there assuming this is right. Episode 2, lost my temper. What'd you
Now
do?
this.
Pull someone's face off? I mean, like,
Yeah,
it
I don't
it's
know.
fine.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
fine. Yeah, of
it's
course. It
fine.
could.
It's just
Yeah.
season 3, above the law.
Again, you can, link that or relate that to Moon Knight.
Yeah,
It could be
yeah.
generally given. Yeah, yeah.
Blood Moon, episode 4. I mean,
Oh,
I wouldn't be surprised if an episode is called Blood Moon.
we have to have a phase of the moon somewhere. So.
Unless they're all phases of the moon. I mean, like,
Mm.
I'm trying to think what they've done with the other ones. I know Hawkeye had those were all very Christmassy, weren't they? I can't remember now. I
Yeah.
don't really pay attention
Yeah.
to episode titles, to be honest.
Mhm.
Except for, like, Moon Knight. Episode 5, Darkest Night. That seems a little Batman.
It does. It
But that
does.
doesn't mean
That could be a play. It could be
could be.
a playful jeer at it.
And then episode 6 is amazing. Right? Spectre, Shake It Up. I mean, like,
What
is
what
that
does
a
that
pop
mean?
song? I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Who
what I'm
knows?
thinking of. The shake it up,
Yeah.
baby. I don't.
I don't know. They seem weird ones to guess, but who knows? If they are, they are, but they're
less
not
and less
exciting.
likely. Less and
They're
less
not
likely.
an exciting list to me. It's like a
Yeah.
it's like, okay, all right. Like, you
yeah,
haven't thought
true.
very hard,
I mean, to be honest as well, and again, no shade at people who love to check out titles of episodes and stuff, but yeah, it doesn't really excite me as well. I mean, but then again, no episode titles really excite me.
No, sometimes I have a chuckle
Yeah.
when they come up on screen.
Okay.
And I go, oh yeah, that's funny. Yeah,
Yeah.
like I think we're past time where we can do a few spoilers for a few weeks ago on for the Book of Boba Fett, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they had one that everyone's like, was called The Return of the Mandalorian.
Mhm.
That's an episode title that makes you
Sure.
pay
Okay.
attention. Like
Yeah.
like if there was one in this called Tigra.
Yeah.
Comes, but very non-specific ones, either referencing the moon or mental health, are not likely to excite me.
If it had something like the Other Void or the Over Void, that would be exciting. 'Cause
Right,
you can
then we would
of
get like
yeah.
proper excited about it.
Yeah.
If they had one called Hunter's Moon, even
Mhm,
there'd be speculation there. But there's not a lot for us to do with them. So like they're not awful. There's just nothing really for people to speculate about, except about whether they've made a mistake with that first one.
Yeah.
And where Spectre Shake It Up came from, because I really hope that's a song now.
Just a bit random, isn't it?
Yeah.
But
it has come from an app apparently that does TV listings. I mean,
Okay.
also I looked at them as Marvel ones, and they were a little bit more. They were definitely ones I would make up for a Miss Marvel TV show.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
But as
so,
you're saying, that's a bit too early, though. So you think
I
maybe
would
that's
think so. I mean, we don't even have
yeah.
a date for Miss Marvel to have the episode titles listed. I don't know how early they decide on them either. Like, I don't know how early they submit them to apps. I just would have thought we'd have seen it, like, given how hot a property Moon Knight is right now. I mean, like, I'm sure you've discussed how many times the trailer was watched. Like, it was the most watched trailer for any of the MCU TV shows and things like that. And we've all seen the increased clickbaity articles about, and like all the things we've seen about X person was seen on X set, and Oscar Isaac's brother posted this picture, that I'm really surprised that we've not seen a million. These are the episode titles.
Yeah, fair enough. That's yeah. I mean, so take it how you will, loony listeners. There is a picture rundown of the titles in the Facebook group. If you're part of the group, be the judge. But yeah, I mean, again, very generic titles.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the last thing I'd say about it is that if they are true, the nice thing about it is they're not spoilery. Like, I
Yeah,
don't feel
true.
like any of them give it, because none of them really give us that kind of oh, let's speculate about this.
Yeah,
I don't feel bad sharing them on a podcast in advance. Do you know what I mean? It's like there is,
yeah,
like, if there'd been some on there, I think we would have had the discussion, should we give people a spoiler warning and let them come back in 5 minutes?
yeah.
You know, like if one of them was Frenchie arrives or something like that. I don't know. I'm just making them up now, like two muffins
My
at Gina's, you know.
Yeah, they call me Bushman, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Then you
yeah,
kind of
yeah,
like
yeah.
go, yeah, that's fair enough. My last little comment for it, Rebecca, and leaning on that last title, how would you feel towards a musical number in the Moon
I'm
Knight?
up for so
Yeah,
many musical
would
numbers.
you,
We've
if there
seen
was
Oscar
like
Isaac dancing now. Like we've seen if he can top his Ex Mach is it Ex Machina? Which is that the one he's in where he does the
I'm not
dance?
sure.
It's
Yeah,
called
yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
Is he a good
If he
dancer?
can,
Yeah, is it?
it's iconic, Ray. If you haven't seen
Okay,
it, look it up.
it's fair
So
enough.
yeah,
Fair enough.
you know, we know
How?
he plays guitar a bit from like you know, so
Oh, yeah. How about Ethan
he was in
Hawke?
a
Would you say
band.
Ethan
Of course,
Hawke?
he can sing. Yeah,
Oh, okay. Yeah, he's got
yeah,
coordination. He's got. Yeah,
yeah,
okay. Fair
yeah.
enough.
He's got it.
How about old man Ethan?
I
You
would
thinking
love
he
to see
can?
Ethan
Yeah.
Hawke sing.
Or no, I mean even dance. I would.
Oh,
I'm imagining like a Christopher Walken like performance from Ethan Hawke dancing.
and honestly, I would. Yeah, I think so too. I've
Yeah,
actually seen
yeah.
Christopher Walken on stage. Very good singer, very good dancer. But yeah,
Really?
yeah, I saw him in a
Oh,
musical.
I wish I could do an impersonation of him. He's got such a
I
cool
don't think
voice.
anyone can do an impersonation of
No,
him, but like,
no one
yeah,
can.
they're
No one can
very
do it
cool.
justice.
But it was
Yeah,
exciting to get the episode titles drop. I mean, like,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
in countdown. We're like, what, 6 weeks away?
I know, yeah, and also before I forget, I think I've got a little note towards the end of the show, Rebecca. But we were talking online about because it is getting closer. As you're saying, the weeks are flying
Yeah,
by.
yeah.
We've got to organise a
What we're
like a
planning
group
on
watch.
doing. So, yeah, if
Mm.
anyone has any thoughts, now's the time to start talking about it. Maybe we'll put up a chat about it on Facebook. But
Mm-hmm.
what I was talking about with Ray was possibly doing an immediate reaction with us, you know, fairly short because work and
Yeah,
things. Like,
yeah.
it's very late for Ray. Is it late for
Mm-hmm.
you? What time is
Oh
it for you?
no, it'll be fine. I think it's
Yeah.
about 6, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
Right.
I
So
think
it's very
yeah,
late for
yeah,
Americans.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
It
like
is.
right at the start of my work day.
Mm-hmm.
And but yeah, so I mean, I've got like we've got time. So doing a very quick reaction where we get everything wrong and go,
Mm-hmm.
ooh, was that this and who was that, and haven't looked anything up. And then later on at the weekend or just after the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
organizing a group watch of some kind if people want to come, and then but then doing a bigger episode which would be with people's feedback, or probably more of a feedback
Yes.
episode because me and Ray will have given our initial feelings. So it'll be like reading your feedback and discussing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's so a lot
Yeah.
more episodes than you used to, but Moon Knight on TV.
But it's going to be exciting. So, yeah, I mean, we have to. I mean, we're riding the wave. We'll be, as you said, Rebecca, that initial 30 minutes or so of reaction will be so much fun.
Yeah,
and then,
it's
you know,
going to be. Everyone's obviously welcome to join. You
yeah,
know, chat room,
absolutely.
whatever. And we'll
Absolutely.
just, like, just have a laugh about it. You can like correct us on air because like I'm going to be like, was that this? Was that that? Everyone who had the captions on
Yeah.
will be like, oh no. Everyone remember
Yeah.
to put the captions on.
Yes. Thank you, Chad.
I forgot to look
eh,
at comments. I'm still in private chat. Hello,
oh,
everyone.
yeah, time is an illusion, absolutely, as well. So, yeah, and then once the dust settles, then we open it up to another show. So that should be
Yeah.
another episode. So that should be good as well. All right. Well, Rebecca, shall we head
Yeah, let's do
into
it.
the Moonshine? As we mentioned, yeah, we'll be looking at Moon Knight, Volume 9, Issue 8, Scarlet. And I've just got some credits here. It's obviously released not that long ago, the 9th of February 2022. Writer Jed MacKay, penciler and inker Alessandro Cappuccio, colorist Rachelle Rosenberg, letterer VC's Corey Petit, and editors Tom Brevoort and Martin Biro. Now, this is Rebecca. That is, and everyone there can see that's the main cover. Look at this technology. What's happening? What's happening?
This is where
Rebecca's always suspicious.
I'm like
and
so
she should
wary.
be.
Like the number
So
of
she should
ones
be.
we've tried to do and it's gone wrong
Oh
because
my
I've
God.
been there. So
No. It's
no,
because
it's just, you get to
it's be-
experiment.
I experiment with Rebecca. I've just got to say that. So Rebecca's the guinea pig. So whenever I get all these bells and whistles, I get excited, and Rebecca happens to be on the other end. Unfortunately, it may or may not work. But anyway, yeah. So this is the cover for those that can see on the live stream and on the video. But we also have variant covers by Greg Land. That one there.
That's nice.
Looking quite nice. Yeah, actually, I didn't immediately recognise it as a land variant, but I can see it now.
I don't think you do without the faces as much.
That's right. That's right. And finally, there's the last one. It's Ex Gwen by Todd Noak. And that's
I'm
one
not
of those.
I'm not into those kind of variants. I mean, it's nice, but I'm not really into them. The sort of character ones. I'm just opening the window.
No worries. Oh, that's okay. Now, if you just bear with me, Rebecca, I'm just going to try one more time to try and get the comic working. I shared it before for some reason. StreamYard. There it is, baby. Come on, let me connect it. Come on. Oh, then it disappears. Okay. Well, maybe you can't. Maybe you can't do it. I'm going to try one more time, Rebecca, and I'm going to. Everyone can experiment with me now as well, because why not? Here we go. That works. Click. Come on. Share.
No. Oh.
There we go.
It's happening.
There we go. Okay, cool. So I should be able to then flick through it at my leisure, Rebecca. It's fantastic. Sorry for that. Loonies, just indulge us all. Available on floppy format, currently only as well, and digital, of course, on Comixology, just the tried and true for new releases. And what we do for listeners that may not know, I am going to ask the lovely Rebecca again, if you would be so kind as to
I know, it's like blind reading.
Yes, I love it. My hackneyed writing. Oh my gosh! Can I just say this is a really cool issue?
Yeah.
So it was really.
We've been waiting for it for a while.
Oh my god! Yes. And after Rebecca reads the fantastic, her fantastic rendition, not the writing, we'll get into some key moments, and we'll talk about writing and art and references. There's a lot of references and characterizations, and we'll cap it off with our beloved Connoisseur's rating system. So that should be a lot of fun. Right, well, Rebecca, I'm gonna add the music in post because I've just had a lot of trouble with StreamYard.
That's fine. The music might put me off anyway. Who knows?
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
So here we go. A summary of the issue written by Ray. Dr. Bader, aka Hunter's Moon, recalls his investigation on the strange killings and the mysterious S symbols scrawled all over the city. Scarlet Fascinera, the stained glass Scarlet, appears to have returned, although her death was documented years ago. Hunter's Moon tracks stained glass Scarlet to an old church, her original refuge, and is astounded to find a transcendent spectre goading him with Scarlet's past and her future motives. It's revealed the idea of stained glass Scarlet has gained traction and faith, and in doing so has sprouted a godling, one that appears before Hunter's Moon. And able to defeat the seemingly unstoppable force, Hunter's Moon conjures up Khonshu, the very god of the moon. And although Khonshu is currently incarcerated on Asgard, the astral projection proves too much for baby god, stained glass Scarlet. The godling disappears, but as Khonshu states, the story never ends if it's remembered. Hunter's Moon then confesses his regret for his past hatred towards Reese, as he later recounts the tale to her. Elsewhere, at Ravencroft Asylum, a red alert is sounded and panic escalates as it's revealed that Rutherford Winner has escaped. Dangerous killer and ex-colleague of Dr. Sturman. Well, patient, I would say.
Oh, patient. Oh, okay. Yes. Oh,
That's right.
bugger. Awesome. Awesome. There you go, Loonies. Plenty to digest, plenty to chat and talk through. Now, Rebecca, again, I always ask at the beginning, and I never said overall impressions. So, what did you make of this?
Oh, really good. I mean, I didn't know what we were going to get going into it. And obviously, like, we all love Scarlet. And it's weird to see her in this capacity, but it was done so well and so beautifully. And it makes a lot of sense. And now I feel like we can have her more. So I'm really happy with it. And I just, the art is. And the art's great, and the coloring is slightly different when Mark's the lead. So I really like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
well picked up there. Yeah, I love it too. It's a really nice, almost comfortable transition to having Hunter's Moon take over the mission, I thought, and it, here on that first page, it's reminiscent of one of the first pages of the early issues where we're introduced to Mr. Knight.
Yeah, it's you see his different setup, and I mean, I guess it's a little bit jarring if you're not following Devil's Reign, like where Mark is, but they explain it later in the comic, so it kind of makes sense. But you kind of go in either having read the recap or just go in, and you're sort of. I like that you don't have to see, we got Reese saying he was needed, and like, I mean, we didn't actually. No, you just enter where we are in the story.
Yeah, and it even, I mean, as you mentioned, Rebecca, with Devil's Reign, it even references Moon Knight, Devil's Reign, Moon Knight, right? And that hasn't even really come out yet.
Does it reference Devil's Reign Moon? Oh, it does. Yeah,
in the editor's note.
I wondered about that in the editor's note as well, and maybe it's like I thought it was written weirdly, like it would be like it will be explained in Devil's Reign Moon Knight.
Right.
But I guess I can't remember exactly how they were. Yeah, it just says because it says as seen in. And like, I wonder if like the dates moved a bit, or because
I thought maybe they just jumped the gun and they were talking about
we're like a full 3 weeks ahead of Devil's Reign Moon Knight. So
yeah, I know it's weird.
A significant jump, but
yeah, the new tiles and I mean again, Rebecca, I'm just gawking at the colors here. I love the tinge of green that Rosenberg puts on the lighting. It just kind of...
It's like one of those awful lawyer lamps, isn't it? That we all used to, like our grandparents all have.
Yeah, exactly. And we've got here someone... What? Oh, okay. Thank you, Russell. Cheers. Can't wait. We'll have a look there soon. But yeah, the first overall impressions, just really did enjoy it. It's we got the tease with the stained glass Scarlet insignia on the walls, and wow, it really took me on a curve as to where is that even a saying, as to how Jed MacKay kind of reintroduces us with stained glass Scarlet. I just did not expect that at all. It was fantastic.
No, although I did wonder how he's gonna bring her back, because it's but it's good. It's interesting.
Yeah. So yes, it's called Scarlet, as mentioned. Shall we hit one of the key moments? Oh, any of the key moments. The first one, I mean, as I mentioned, was Hunter Moon taking over Mark's mission, and it was a really great intro to have him talking to. Now, I originally thought that was Detective Flint, but from memory, there was someone else who kind of looked like Flint. I remember from the earlier issues that wasn't him. Did you know by any chance?
I didn't really pay any attention. I thought he called him Flint. Maybe I was just reading somebody else's feedback saying Flint.
Oh, okay. Yeah, oh, no, he does. You're right. Sorry, he does. There we go. Mr. Flint. It's just about the women who have suffocated. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I mean, we haven't seen him. I've been always wanting to see Flint back.
It's always nice when you get the recurring cops or cop analogues in this case.
Yeah, exactly.
Since he says
Um,
he's not regular police, not police anymore, not that kind of, not police anymore.
yeah, but I mean that's a good way, I guess, to tie it in. And like we don't get too much into the investigation because it does focus around stained glass Scarlet. But
Mm.
there are people being suffocated. Women have been suffocated, and that's kind of brought Flint to Hunter's Moon to try and figure out what's going on. So we know that he's sympathetic towards Moon Knight. So his, I guess, impressions of Hunter's Moon would be a bit weird. I don't know what
Yeah,
he
yeah. I mean, I
thinks.
guess he's
Yeah.
not. He's not. Well, none of us know what to expect with Hunter's Moon, so we're kind of
Mm.
with him. But I do like that he's automatically in the dark suit, in the kind of. He literally is in the
Yeah.
opposite of Mr. Knight clothing. Like he's not wearing his Hunter's Moon outfit as the Fist of Khonshu. He's still in a suit and tie with a
Yes.
tie clip, which is a lovely little touch. But
But how cool?
yeah.
Yeah. And as we kind of alluded to before, there's a reference to like another run, which is Devil's Reign, issue 1. We get Cappuccio's impression of Moon
Mhm.
Knight taking on
The
the
Thunderbolts.
Thunderbolts. Pretty, really cool as well. I don't know if I have a preference. I kind of like them both.
Oh
Chichetto
yeah,
does
it's
a
just
really
nice
good.
to see them. Yeah, nice
Yeah,
to see different artists do the same scene.
yeah. So no, really good. But yeah, there's this thing with having Hunter's Moon at the mission already, and really just taking the place of Mr. Knight. I don't know. You immediately get the sense, and you find out later on through the writing that he's a lot more of a good guy, so to speak. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
he's. I mean, the last time we did kind of see him, well, mainly we saw him beating up Moon Knight. He was very much the antagonist. He did help him against Zodiac, but
yep,
now he
yep.
seems to be fully
Fully on
entrenched on the
board now. Yeah,
yeah on the
now
good
he's
side.
fully on board.
And I don't know about you. I mean, people have been loving that front cover, and I think people have been embracing Hunter's Moon straight away, just as comic book readers, and I certainly have.
Yeah, I think everyone. I mean, it made so much sense. I think we've just taken to him straight away, and it is like for all the parallels we've talked about before about him being a doctor, whereas Mark was a fighter.
Hmm.
Him Muslim, Mark's Jewish. Like like all these things are like it's just an interesting other way to take it. It's not a jarring edition, which I guess is how all comic editions should be. That they don't jar you; they add to the storytelling potential.
Yeah,
And because we've done this quick turn of him not being antagonist all the time, like I'm sure they'll have other fights, like
yeah.
arguments, not necessarily fist fights, but yeah, it makes him very easy to sort of warm to.
I mean, look at and some of the art again. A shout out to Cappuccio's art. I enjoyed last issue. I know a lot of people were kind of missing Cappuccio's art already after the one issue, um, and taking nothing away from Federico Sabatini, but it is really nice to see some of these hero shots from Cappuccio again, and Hunter's Moon with that gold. The armaments just look so
Yeah,
cool.
yeah,
I really
yeah,
do
it
love
does.
it.
It's a
So
really nice color combination.
yeah. So yeah, doing well there. Uh, I mean, so here, as we see in the comic, apologies again on the live stream on the video, we see Hunter's Moon straight away. Just going. I mean, we're in the first quarter of the comic. I'm looking at page 6 of
Yeah,
23. He goes and he starts looking at these really weird scrawlings. Rebecca, you had a little bit of a note here about the stained glass Scarlet.
I don't know if I should. I don't know if I think I said
Yeah.
I'm not even going to say it here, but like
Oh, okay.
So no, I will because like I don't mind when people rag on me for this, and I did wear the t-shirt on purpose. But like that, like we've been joking, or I've been joking, and I do mean joking about it, about how I think there's some sly nods here to the Moon Knight as Batman thing throughout the run.
Yes.
I think we said it last time with having the clown and the decapitated head and the writing on the wall, very Joker style.
Hmm.
So then I was like going, if you're going to take this as a cumulative, then having someone whose symbol is an S on the wall that you're then told is a symbol of hope, just made me laugh as well. But like, I
Yeah.
would be up for her being his Superman, being the Superman to his. But that's all we're gonna say about the honourable opposition, as they call them. But like, I just thought it was another fun little nod. Like, if you were gonna, you could do it, but I don't think any of them are done in mean spirit or like
No, not at
or
all.
sort of like. I just think it's a just little sly little nod for people who are in on that kind of joke.
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it. I love how you kind of bring this sort of stuff in here, Rebecca. I didn't see the association, but I very much do see it now. It's like
Yeah.
it's a spookier kind of, saying
Yeah. I mean,
Glass
it's not
Scarlet.
the
He's
same way, and obviously, certainly not in the same reason that it stands for hope,
hmm
or not doesn't stand for hope. But you know what I mean? Like, people are like, yeah, I mean, people are lighting candles to her as if she's a saint. So there's something in
mm,
there, you know.
yeah.
You see Chad's
I mean,
question?
yeah, it's coming up. Sorry, it's a bit
Okay.
delayed here for me. I can't see. Can you see it, Rebecca?
Yeah, yeah. Do you think women being strangled is a call to Hangman, the werewolf by night villain?
Oh, well, I don't know.
If
Possibly.
it is, you called it. I didn't get that, but that's it would be cool if it was. I mean, like, it's a very distinct way of killing people. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And so I mean, I don't know about you as well, Rebecca. The sense of hearing that first voice from Stained Glass Scarlet was quite eerie. It's
yeah,
very much
yeah,
more horror vibe. As you
yeah.
mentioned, um the candles on the ground, the scrawlings on the wall. It's all kind of uh, introduced via this kind of story of women being suffocated and stuff. So
It's very
um,
unsettling. Even the
it
way that
is.
they
Yeah.
draw Hunter's Moon's shadow in the church is
Mm.
kind of like the almost like that. There's a lot of spooky as soon as you enter the church.
Yeah. Yeah. But again, drawn really well. I'm loving how
Oh, it's just beautiful.
Cappuccio's doing it. Again, I'm a big fan of the art. I don't mind too much like the design of Hunter's Moon. He's got like two full moons basically, or you could even
Yeah,
just interpret them as just circles on his forehead and on his chest, which is similar to the Moon Knight costume in the TV show, which some people
yeah,
don't like the amount of like crescent moons on Moon Knight's costume. I mean, we get it a lot here.
yeah,
So yeah, but that voice is very unsettling.
yeah.
With Glass Scarlet, I was kind of, geez, that name is a
It's
mouthful,
quite hard to
Rebecca.
say. Yeah,
It
I
is,
just
isn't it?
call her Scarlet now.
Scarlet, yeah. Let's just say
Yeah.
Scarlet, because I was wondering, like, surely this can't be her. What's the idea? Is it
Right,
kind
I
of like
just
a
wondered if it was somebody who'd taken inspiration from her or something like
that
that. But
too?
the more it
Yeah,
felt ethereal, the more I was like, oh, we're talking about not ghosts, but something supernatural.
yeah. And I was thinking, it can't be. That can't be the fact really that it's her. I got the sense as well that there were a lot of followers. I mean, that was kind of alluded to as well.
Yeah,
Her story, which was introduced before it gets kind of
rehashed.
revisited.
Yeah,
Yeah, in this thing coming up. I mean, again, this next page, great. Hunter's Moon
Mm.
trying to beat wherever the voice is coming from. Uh, he finds his crescent darts just stuck in like a plank of timber, like just on the wall, and the floor just crumbles through. And then, oh my gosh,
The
these
next page is
colors.
just insane.
Oh, I do not know what to say.
It's just,
The
it's like a firework. It's like
It
a
is.
firework on a comic page.
It's like
Yeah,
the color combinations that Rachelle Rosenberg decides to use is just so kind of really inspired each time, and you get the sense. Obviously, we're working with stained glass,
hmm,
the whole theme of it.
yeah, yeah,
But then by introducing those hues of the red and the crimson, with the orange and the yellows, just
yeah,
works really well. And Cappuccio again, like this must have been from the direction of Jed MacKay about just the shattered glass everywhere all
yeah,
the time.
yeah.
It just gives off that really cool
And
vibe.
Hunter's
And
Moon's cloak's still a little bit glowy, even
oh
though his
yeah, I
costume
love that.
isn't. So yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah. So he, I mean, yeah. And so in the story, he kind of falls through, and we get this recap again of there once was a girl who wanted to be a nun or an actress. Who tried the former but realized she was the latter, a wife to a monster, the mother to another monster. A killer shot down in the same church where her husband and son died in gunfire decades apart. I mean, it's really a tragic story from her.
It's
I
so.
kind of
I mean,
lost.
that's why we all love
Mm,
her, isn't it? I mean, not
oh
because
yeah,
of that,
yeah.
but because you get so much of her background in so few issues, and you don't always get
Mm,
people fleshed out like that, and especially not women and as antagonists. And it's just, I mean, I think that's why she's a fan favorite, and it's always been a case of like, how do you get her back now? And this is
mm,
such a great way of doing it within some of the themes that Jed's playing with the rest of the comic.
yeah. Um, And I just love the fact that she, I mean, as we mentioned, I mean, this is one of the other key moments. It's the little godling, how she just
Mhm.
become, the legend has taken on a life of its own, literally.
Yeah,
And it's not, I mean, you, you can't even really say it's literally Scarlet Fasanera. It's her story, and it's
yeah,
a combination of her and I guess all the other people who have that same kind of faith in what she's doing.
yeah.
She's become this legend, which I think is awesome. And later on, I can't remember the terminology, but it's a bit where I'm just going to fast forward a bit here on in the images. Yeah, it's this one where she's just a red hood,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
oh, so cool. And they give me life, and I give them vengeance. So she becomes like almost a spirit of vengeance herself.
yeah.
And I don't know what the terminal.
It's just
Yeah,
beautiful.
it is. Yeah, but it just makes it look so scary. Like we don't even see her face. We
Yeah,
know
and
it's got
then
to
the
be
next
Scarlet.
page is again
Oh, yeah,
just like just the art in this
bonkers.
is
Oh,
insane. Like if we
yeah.
had to have a stand-in artist just to get the art for this issue, would have been worth it.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
last month to get the this, but
Yes, absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. I would have waited
yeah,
one or two. I mean, even 2 issues or whatever. I would have
yeah,
waited more for this. This is great, and you can see where the time has gone into,
yeah.
and it's just
Just doing
absolutely
all the little
phenomenal.
triangles of the glass and like
Yeah, it pays off as well. It's not
it
just
does, and
kind
it's
of.
really good. And you get like Hunter's Moon making his kind of confession,
Hmm. Yes, which
and
is
but also standing up to her and saying like, "I can change. Well, why can't you?"
yes, kind of add, but I love it. He just kind of story. I mean, like
Yeah,
she's more than just like a person. She's this abstract now, which is really well defined in the art of just
yeah,
this huge floating. Like she's ginormous, this huge floating red
yeah.
cloak. So this is not the Scarlet Fasanera that we know, or stained glass Scarlet that we know before. And I'd have to say, for me, I mean, one of the massive standout, apart from Jed MacKay's great idea for this story, was
Yeah.
definitely the art. The art was a huge
Oh, it's
standout
just
for
insane.
this. Yeah. So we get later. There we go. The final kind of vision of
Yeah,
her. And
yeah.
did
It's
you wake up?
gorgeous.
Did you wake up yesterday, Rebecca, expecting to see
No,
stained glass Scarlet as a faceless, prismatic, golden
no, but
godling?
I love it.
It's fantastic, isn't it? And the great. And I love the scale because, obviously she's attained a different kind of tier of
Yeah,
of existence. But the other key point that comes up is, how does Hunter's Moon counter this? Well, actually, first in this page, he actually kneels before her. He
yeah,
is very
yeah,
much like, I'm not going to go against you. It's almost like, I understand where you're coming from. Yeah, uh, yeah. So he's kind of like giving her respect for what she's doing, but at the same time, he conjures
yeah.
up
He's
the
probably
the
also
K
trained
man.
Khonshu
Oh,
to be
that actually
accepted.
no,
Yeah,
you're right. Yeah, that's probably what he's doing as well.
but he's
But
being semi-respectful in doing it. But
yeah, I think so. But actually, I think probably what you're saying as well is doing a bit of both, bit of that as
yeah,
well. Just kind of secretly, K man, where are you?
yeah, And this
But
is
this,
one of the
oh,
all-timer splash pages.
I
I
keep
mean,
on saying is,
every time I look at it, there's like a new thing, and I'm just picking up the line of Moon Knight's
me too
against
as
the
well.
pyramids. Yeah,
I didn't notice that before as well. I was just looking at Stained Glass Scarlet and Conchu because we see. I
yeah,
mean, we were teased with Conchu by Cappuccio a couple of issues ago, and he tweeted it as well, which got everyone excited, having that
yeah.
kind of slight silhouette. And now we see him in full glory,
And I
up
love that the
against. Yeah.
inset panels are shaped like a bit of stained glass as
Yes.
well.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
very well inspired like layouts. You just get these shards, and it's almost as if they're kind of they are like flying in midair and flipping, but you see
yeah.
reflections
But like that bit of
Hunters.
Hunter's Moon is a little
Yeah.
triangle as well, that his view on it all. But in the top corner, you've got an Ankh and the church
Oh yeah. Yes.
architecture. It's just gorgeous. So Khonshu has come to fight on his behalf.
Yeah. And I guess he's got the experience and everything to kind of counter godlings.
Well, Hunter's
So
Moon
does
says he's the greatest god of the great gods.
yeah, yeah. That was like
Okay.
I was looking at that. It's like wow, he really
Wow,
does
he
love.
really drunk the Kool-Aid. Yeah.
He did. Yeah, he really does
Not
get
saying
behind.
he isn't the greatest god of the great gods, but
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, a glorious shot of Khonshu there as well, and again, the scale it just kind of gives you that grandness.
Yeah, I mean, it is
of
quite
like,
interesting because, like, when the last thing he says before Greatest God is that he's defender of those who travel at night, which seemingly is what Scarlet's been doing. So
she has, hasn't she?
yeah,
Like that.
right. So like they're all
Yeah,
on the same mission, just different ways of doing it.
yeah, which I find it very yeah, it's an interesting parallel between
Yeah.
Khonshu and what Scarlet is trying to do, or the legend of Scarlet is. We see towards the end that it doesn't go away. I mean, there are still people who believe, and when they do, as Concha said, that the story doesn't die, then Scarlet won't die. So that was quite interesting. And all along the way here as well. Again, as I mentioned, we're gaining more sympathy for Hunter's Moon. It was that when he did say the greatest god of gods, for me it was kind of like, as you said, a bit too much of the Kool-Aid. The guy's kind of really invested a bit too much. He's a
true believer, and that's good.
Yeah,
we're not used to that.
Oh, true. Yeah, exactly. Even when he was fighting, he was throwing those crescent darts at Stained Glass Scarlet. He was just showing how devout he was, and you don't get it's such a different thing to compare him to say how Moon Knight would have tackled it as well. He would be devoid of talking about Khonshu, or he wouldn't I don't think even have conjured up.
I can't even
Khonshu.
imagine it, which is like why it's such a great interlude while Mark's in jail.
It is.
He would have been so compromised by seeing Scarlet like this, so it'll be interesting.
Yes. Yeah, the relationship that he had with her, that kind of, as Doug Mensch put, this ESP that they both shared together. But we see a titanic battle between Khonshu and Scarlet,
and
which
Khonshu
is
still in prison, so this is the astral projection of him. So.
Yeah. It's not. I'm not entirely sure how he did it. We get some really kind of fancy, arty ways. He kind of goes close towards Scarlet, and as Hunter's Moon crashes through yet another kind of stained glass, I think that, and Khonshu saying we can be hurt, which he is talking about gods, basically.
Yeah, he's saying they can't kill each other, but we can reduce our power, we can be banished, blah, blah. So.
Yeah.
And then, and then we switch scenes.
Yeah, and so that was pretty cool. I mean, we don't, there's no glorious demise of Stained Glass Scarlet. It's just the shot of Hunter's Moon crashing through the window and Khonshu just admitting that, I can beat you and we can kind of hurt you. But I like this little exchange. I thought this was a really cool thing to just confirm.
Well, it shows he's learned something from his experiences, and, she's not entirely ready to forgive him. But at least they're talking. Yeah. They're talking. I think sometimes we brush these things off too quickly, and this is a deep like issue. Like he attacked her and her friends, and
Oh, he wanted to
he
kill her,
has a
yeah, for
and
sure.
he has a big issue with vampires. So it's not all on her.
No.
Like it's not all her. You know, he also has to get over. He has a lot to heal from that. So, but it's interesting that they make the first step, but they, you know, we're not expected to believe they're best pals now.
Yeah, exactly. And I do, yeah, I just enjoy the what is it? The word, not the modesty, but just how Hunter's Moon
Hubris.
is just willing, the hubris, he's just willing to just, admit his
Yeah,
mistakes,
I
kind of
really
really
like
trying
that. I
to,
mean, like we're
yeah,
just not used to seeing male characters like this. We were
mm,
not like who, you know, we used to self-deprecation and stuff, but not ones who actually like this quickly, you know, accept that they may have been wrong about something and just sort of say, "Oh, I'm sorry," and also realize that this probably isn't the end of everything, you know?
yeah. And I'm going to throw it to you, Rebecca, as well. What would you think if, say, we know it's on the front cover of Devil's Reign, Moon Knight, say
Yeah.
that Mark is incarcerated? How would you feel if, for like the next month or the year or whatever, we basically have Hunter's Moon as Moon Knight? If that was the way that
I
Jed
think
is thinking.
given the way it's been set up, I'd be okay with that. I mean, I'd want to know what Mark's, you know, we're always going to want to know what Mark's doing, and like you got to remember, I'm going through this with Iron Fist at the moment.
Mm,
Um, but I
yeah,
think if the story's good, then and like I said, this is an additive change. It's not like Mark won't be Moon Knight when he comes out again. It's just so this we have Hunter's Moon. Yeah, I think I jokingly said they should just change the title to Hunter's Moon for a few issues. Uh, like
yeah.
let us really know him. But also, I mean, like I mean, I'm fairly sure that's not going to happen. So I'm looking forward to them being a team more.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't. I mean, to answer the question that I asked as well, I wouldn't
Yeah.
mind as well. I mean, I'm just thinking of also the Man Without. You know how when Black Panther took over Daredevil's role, and
Hmm.
albeit he
And
wasn't,
Iron
or even
Fist.
and Iron Fist, or even
Yeah.
more recently, how Elektra is now like
Yeah. Yeah.
Daredevil.
Well, they've
Um,
two Daredevils, so it's
they
kind
have.
of the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't be adverse to, say, if Mark Spector was out of the picture for a while. I wouldn't mind
Yeah.
actually. Just because of the strength of how Jed MacKay's written Hunter's Moon, how he's slowly introduced him to the readers, and yeah, he's a force to be reckoned with, and I think he's pretty cool. Who was a shout out and apologies, I can't remember which loony, but Rebecca, I don't know if you saw on the group or it was in Discord about batter, the word batter. I don't know if some loonies know that is actually. Is that Egyptian?
Sorry.
Is it? Oh,
I'm
okay.
sure I
It's a
saw somebody mention it, but I don't remember what it was.
right. Badr, BADR, is actually, I think, Egyptian for something about the moon.
Okay,
So it
that
is.
makes sense.
It's a direct translation. So that's pretty cool as well. So Jed MacKay obviously doing his homework over there. And towards the end of this page, I mean, we're almost at the end of this issue. Again, just a confirmation again that there is someone out there, following
Yep.
the Superman symbol,
Yep.
Rebecca.
Yep.
So
There's still somebody who still has the hope.
I love Krypton. So,
Yeah.
um,
I've
no,
I've
which
I've
is
I've warped you now.
oh, that's
Just
fine.
like it. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's obviously not, but it is a nice nod to it. I like these. I like being able to draw parallels with that without feeling the weight of that whole um
Mm-hmm.
the sort of clickbait articles. Because I
Yeah.
think with all street level characters, you can draw these. You should be able to draw parallels between the other street level characters from whatever company, and but it has this. I mean, it's become a joke because it's got this weight to it, and it's such a shame if it stops us being able to discuss it. But I do
Yeah.
appreciate that I keep raising it. So I, like, I don't mean it to upset anyone or anything. I just think it's a really interesting that somebody's not shied away from it, and I don't think
Mm-hmm.
he's doing it tactically. I just think it's just these are interesting little Easter eggs almost. The
Yeah.
stories all make sense without any of that.
Oh yeah,
So.
absolutely. Yeah, they're just like little playful kind
Yeah,
of.
I just find it hard not to think of them. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's similar to an extent of, say, if I'm reading like one of the really old comics from the 70s or 80s, and you know that they're putting in the faces of creators, like in these like background characters. They're just like little in things that the
Yeah, I was
artist or
reading
the writer does.
some
Yeah.
Kyle Rayner once, and there's straight up issues where he's living next to Doctor Strange. And I was just like, I,
Really?
I don't understand. Like, I'm reading a DC comic, right? Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it's just so like there's a lot of like it feels nice because it feels like there's no big walls, but like you're not really, you know,
Yeah.
it's a bit
Yeah,
fun.
no, yeah, it's good. And the last page here, the epilogue, the final key point I had here, Rebecca, was of course Rutherford Winner.
Yes,
Now
as
this, I think,
escape from Ravencroft. Dun, dun, dun.
yeah, I think, I mean, we were discussing him all the way back before just the issues, before Jed MacKay's run started, right? Or I can't
Yes,
remember. Well, we're
I
talking
think
about
so. Very
with
early on, I
Jed.
think. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was a want, I guess, of bringing in characters. The question of whether the series would include characters from the greater Marvel universe, and I think Jed mentioned, I think it was him. He said
And
Rutherford Winner.
all writers like reusing their creations, so
Yes, yeah, yeah,
so it's not too much of a surprise. And also, Dr. Sturman, like I said, is also his psychiatrist.
yeah.
So
Oh, that was it. Yeah, that was it.
yeah,
We were all speculating because like Jed MacKay is on the run. Who's he going to
yeah.
use, introduce, and yeah, Rutherford Winner. So, this introduce it. It teases some things to come. The next arc. Do you know much of him,
I mean,
Rebecca?
I read Daughter of the
You-
Dragon, so
yeah.
I probably know as much as anyone else. But like I read it when it came out, so what was that,
Oh, okay.
2018? So a little while ago. He's basically Hydra did this Project Pygmalion on him, which is
Hmm.
like forced like fake memories and whatever. And he's doing that, and then Shield used him kind of in the same way, all to carry out assassinations. Daughter of the
Right.
Dragon kind of free him. It's interesting because he talks about developing a story. So he like lures them to the end, and he's like, "Oh, this is my big villain monologue, and then you kill me," and that's how the story plays out. But they don't. They
Right.
help him and get him help, psychiatric help, and then
Right.
he comes back the next issue and saves them when they've been, because they
Ah.
go after the person that was directing him or whatever, and so
Yeah.
then they go back and help him. He goes back and saves them from this mindscape they've kind of been trapped in, and then he goes into like psychiatric care, so to try and like get rid of the programming and stuff.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
interesting,
I
and
mean.
it's another one that's very interested in stories. So
Mm,
I think that's probably a Jed theme, and we're seeing it play out in various different ways. But yeah, it's why not? I'm up for more.
oh, we've got so much to chat with Jed. A
Yeah,
little
and
sneak
it's
peek
only a
to.
3-issue run, The Daughter of the Dragon. So uh,
Okay. Okay.
anyone,
Well,
it's
worth checking
bound to
out.
be on
Yeah.
Marvel Unlimited. So yeah.
Yeah. Marvel Unlimited for sure. I read. I just quickly did a Rutherford Winner. What is it? Run check
Search.
a check
Yeah.
on. Yes, that's it. Rebecca search. That's what I'm looking for. On Wiki, and yeah, just apparently he killed a lot of people. Like he's a little bit
Yeah.
scary as well, apparently. So
Yeah.
should be interesting. He doesn't
He's got
look.
a
I
big
mean,
scar. He looks pretty normal,
yeah,
but he's got a
he
big
looks
scar
pretty
down
normal.
his chin. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So excited. I'm excited to see where it goes, and I cannot wait. Looney listeners, we'll be having Jed on very soon again. Returning guest. I want to say friend of the show, Rebecca.
Honorary high
But I can't.
priest.
Honorary high
say
priest. I can't
honorary
wait.
high priest. Yeah, like he could be a high
Yeah.
priest of Scarlet. Why not?
Oh, yeah. It could be one of those. But I can't wait. So Rebecca and I will be chatting, chewing the breeze, chewing the breeze, chewing the fat, shooting the breeze with Jed MacKay
Yeah.
very soon. So I'll put up a post if you have any questions or if you'd
Think of
like
some questions
to know
that
anything.
aren't too embarrassing.
Yeah,
Please.
exactly.
Maybe
Yeah,
we'll
we'll.
ask anything embarrassing, like how do you pronounce Tigra?
Oh yeah,
None of
We'll
those.
doctor. We'll add that one in, Rebecca. We have to.
You can ask that one.
But everything else is will be doctored. Just a few other comments here. I was again, Rebecca was having some troubles while we were going through the comics, so I didn't see everyone's comments. I just wanted to shoot back. Chad did say the halo on Scarlet is a great touch. It looks really
Beautiful,
cool.
beautiful, and very Christian, so it works. So
Yes, I wonder if it. I'd just love to know if that is a MacKay instruction or if it's something inspired by Cappuccio. But anyway, it works. Whoever came up with it, that's great. And yeah, Chad mentions he agrees that someone else. I'll put it up anyway because he just says I forgot her name. But thank you to the Looney again, who pointed out about Doctor. Oh, it was Olivia. A big shout out to Olivia.
Thank you,
Olivia the Looney. Thank you, Olivia, for letting us know about the word batter. Very cool as well. And Russell, Tomes of Evil, friends of the show, for like collective member. I would love a Hunter's Moon. Yeah, for sure.
I knew
Absolutely.
Russell would be up for that. I somehow knew.
He's all
I can't
into
think of
this.
many people who wouldn't, but I knew Russell would be. He likes new characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Rebecca, any other notes of yours that you wanted to say? I'm just having a little squiz.
Let's have a look. Just under themes probably. So this whole thing about stories and mythology and gods and belief, it's a really interesting, like, it's something I'm fascinated by, like the idea that, there's a lot of books that sort of cover that, like, if you believe in something enough, it takes on that kind of godlike stance. I think Loki, Agent of Asgard's kind of about it. So anyone interested in that theme, that's my recommendation read. But also I thought it was very interesting here that we do have Badr, who's Muslim, Scarlet clearly Christian, and Mark Jewish. So like we have some interesting like commonalities of like same gods, different gods. Also we're using the Egyptian pantheon as well. Stained glass Scarlet, the design looks like there's some sort of Southeast Asian design work there with the forearms.
Yeah. Right,
But also, like, I wonder if all of those things together are playing into there is a commonality in faith and belief and gods, and it doesn't matter which one you are, but or which ones you believe in, as long as you believe in something and the story's there. And I wonder if we're going to have Zodiac being like the fourth square of that, the sort of I guess believer in chaos, almost the sort of like the atheist in amongst that trio of believers. But it's interesting that like what's his name, Rutherford Winner is somebody who was made to believe a story, then had to regain his own personal story, and also thinks in terms of story. So it's clearly something that Jed's interested in, because I don't have an answer from that, but I love it as well. So
that's fascinating, and I think, Rebecca, you couldn't have said it any better. That's a really awesome way to kind of look at it. And you're getting me excited again about about just the intricacies of this writing. It's awesome. Like this whole thing about faith and how, absolutely. And I love this idea of Zodiac just running around there, a little bit of a loose cannon, but him being kind of associated with this kind of idea of the high concept of faith and how there's that commonality between the. You couldn't have said it any better, Rebecca.
I'm really interested to see where that goes, because I can't see now, if he's the baddie for this initial thing, how it won't play into it. Like, it almost has to.
Yeah.
So
this is something
now.
we should be asking Jed, and
and he'll say I can't tell you, but we can definitely.
Yeah, I know, but
we can press him on influences and things like that. So.
I think he would be secretly just chuffed that you would be gleaning this from his writing. That's great. But look, there's not much else references apart from the Devil's Reign, as you said, and Rutherford Winner. I mean, of course, Stained Glass Scarlet from the Mensch run. I mean, if you don't know who she is, and you're a relatively new Moon Knight fan, definitely check out Volume 1 Stained Glass Scarlet appearances. I think from memory, oh my gosh, it's
There's
really...
not many.
Yeah, issue 13 or 14, I think, is her first appearance. I can't remember. And then she comes back again.
Yeah.
Really, and she actually returns in Mark Spector Moon Knight in the Scarlet Redemption, a big arc by J.M.D. Mateus. You'll get to kind of know what kind of character she is. So yeah, just a little shout out to all the newer fans out there who may not know Stained Glass Scarlet. She's definitely not a godling. This is really like new stuff for long time fans. But yeah, very very interesting. And I just again love how Jed plays with the
It's
old
really
source
clever to
material.
have her come against Hunter's Moon, who doesn't know her, so she does have to tell her story. Like,
Yeah,
because if she was going against Mark, like, why would she be saying that? He knows all of that. So it's a very clever sort of putting them together to get that, so it doesn't feel like
absolutely.
awkward to get the exposition.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And yeah, so highly recommend it. I'm going to shout out to Russell. Russell, you've got to do a Stained Glass Scarlet. On Tomes of Evil, do a Stained. I mean, is she a villain? Well,
I was gonna do
she
it
does
with I was gonna
bombings.
do it with Russell, and then
Ah,
I think Connoisseur took my place, and then they never
ah,
managed to get a time, or they did it, and I switched to doing Randall Spectre because there wasn't
yes,
a. Yeah, I thought he'd already done it. You did it with someone else because Connoisseur couldn't make it. But yeah, I
yeah.
switched to Randall because no one wanted to do Randall, and I love him. So
Randall is awesome as well. Do you think we'll
yeah.
get him in the show? I mean, I'm still hoping somehow.
I always hope. I always hope that someone
Yeah,
will come and do a better story than him being like a
yeah,
woman abuser who kills
yeah.
people. There's got to be some sort of like. It's such a great character, but I think in this, like so.
Yeah.
Yeah, go find the Tomes of Evil on Stained Glass Scarlet. I even
Absolutely,
said it
absolutely.
without stumbling that time.
Yeah, definitely worth it. Again, for the new listeners, long-time fans would. Yeah, I'd love to. I mean, we'll get to some feedback as well about everyone's thoughts on this. I just copy and pasted them, Rebecca, into the prompt sheet. I haven't read them, so I can't wait to hear. As well, just quickly here, Chad. Jed needs to give us a head count on all the gods he brings to our plane. Absolutely.
Yep.
Russell wants Resurrection War. Such an awesome arc. I really love that. Actually, Rebecca, as much as I love doing High Strangers with you because that was such a bonkers thing, I would have loved to have done Resurrection War with you as well.
Yes, very fun. We have time.
That was fun. It
We'll
was
fit it in sometime after the TV show. We'll go do
yeah,
whatever we want. Yeah.
exactly. And yes, sorry, thank you, Russell. Yep, absolutely, you did. I know that you did all the main Mooney villains. I just wasn't sure whether
we counted Stained Glass.
Yeah, fantastic.
All right.
I guess without any other notes, Rebecca, let's go to Connoisseur's rating system. What did you give this out of 10?
9.
Woohoo! That is awesome. A full moon. 9 out of 10. Reasons, Rebecca, just a couple of key points why.
I think it was very clever and it was beautiful and it brought back one of the characters I love in a way that made sense and excites me for the future.
Yeah. Yes, I absolutely agree. I gave it a 9 as well, a big full moon, and it was just a combination of everything. As you said, the Stained Glass Scarlet, the art, it was beautiful, really. Just the art and the colors. Oh my gosh, brilliant! Again, every time I open up a Moon Knight comic and I come across one of those splash pages, I just in the back of my mind, it's like
poster, that one of
me too, and
her and Khonshu. Oh my god, he needs to make a print so
yeah.
badly.
Yeah, but
I might message him and say, please make that a print. Because,
I just keep.
I'm never going to have the money to buy original pages.
Well, me too as well, but I always have in the back of my head, I've just got to tweet Alessandro Cappuccio again and ask when he's going to release his artwork because, my gosh, every few issues, it's like, yeah, I want that one, I want that one, I want that one.
This is the one I want. Scarlet and Khonshu.
So, a 9 out of 10. So that gives you an average of 9 out of 10. Looney listeners, go read it. Yeah, we liked it. It was, oh my gosh, it was really cool. And it paves the way for the next arc with Rutherford winner, Untested Waters. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So, do you want to do Russell's feedback first because it's in Messenger for you?
Yes. Okay.
And then
yeah, sure.
And then we'll, just so we don't forget it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, let me just, because, Ray's all about this visual thing as well. Let's go into Night Lines, everybody. Here we are.
I've got a theme tune in my head.
So I'm going to read Russell's first, And Russell's is via Messenger. Thank you, Russell. I was like, whilst we were chatting, I was looking all throughout all the different mail accounts I had Russell. I couldn't find it. And then, yeah, okay, I'll just check Messenger. There it is. So Russell says, absolutely mind-blowing. This is not what I expected at all. The art continues to enamor me, especially how Alessandro draws Hunter's Moon. 100%, Russell. It was cool seeing Flint. Yeah, me too. And oh my God, Stained Glass Scarlet has ascended. She almost becomes this Lovecraftian horror, and I love it. Her new design is amazing. I love the faith measuring contest. Yep, between the two, and Big Daddy Khonshu coming in to finish it, or did he? Yeah, I mean, I think he did, but like it was just like, let's not linger on the details, that sort of stuff. This was a standalone issue, and I loved it. We'll have to reread it as I read it in a rush, but I love it so much. 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. That's a big fuck off, Moon. Russell, if ever I saw one. Thank you very much, Russell, for that. Fantastic. Rebecca, are the others just as enamored?
Yeah, well, let's have a look. So I've got Chad's from Facebook group. Well, I'm happy Mark didn't have to see her like this. Sad as it may be, getting her story was important to me, and getting that melee between her and Khonshu was quite the money shot. Jed sure loves showing off gods in his book, and he knows how to hype it up. Is this another chorus ability under Khonshu? Alessandro and Rachelle really had their work cut out with the Titans and the shadow light they project. That little zinger at the end of Ravencroft was a nice touch for Daughter of the Dragon, but I'm wondering what prompted a catatonic terrorist to spring into action. 9.5 out of 10 votive candles. Yes, I'm very excited to see what prompted that escape from Ravencroft. Especially as we'll hopefully have the parallel of Mark escaping from jail at the same time.
Yes. I mean, does it have anything to do with Wilson Fisk potentially having released Rutherford? So that's
the only connections we know he has are Hydra, Shield, not on good terms with neither, and Daughter of the Dragon, who he is on good terms with, but doesn't really know anyone else. Like, it's these two kids that sort of got in touch with him about Misty and Colleen. So,
yeah, we should see. And also as well, just a little shout out, the Chorus of Ordination. Yeah, is this an ability that Mark hasn't got, that Hunter's Moon has?
To get Khonshu there,
very interesting. Thank you, Chad, for that. Very nice thoughts there, and obviously a winner chicken dinner for his 9.5 out of 10. Mario D. Giacomo, one of the Patronis, one of the beloved Patronis, says, well, that's not what I expected. Sure, I knew without reading that this would be a story about faith, given that both Moon and Scarlet are zealots of one sort or another, but I would not have expected that we'd get Stained Glass Scarlet becomes a living urban myth. As I'm not as huge a fan of the older material as some, I can treat the story dispassionately, and it is quite interesting, although a bit open-ended. And as usual, Alessandro Cappuccio kills it on the art side. It's also great seeing former Detective Flint again. He may not be a policeman anymore, but he's still a cop, and you just know that bit about the dead woman will come up again. Yes, absolutely. That just was dropped and forgotten, basically. Yeah. We also get a bit deeper into the characters of Bader and Reese. I like that she doesn't forgive him immediately, even though his regret seems genuine. I also like that, unlike Mark, he takes his mask off during downtimes. That's an interesting.
That's an interesting observation. Yeah.
Again, differences between the two. And finally, a tease at the end. The almost glass Taipei line tells me is probably Rutherford Winner. Well, it says it on the plaque.
I felt so mean for pointing that out, Mario.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I did. And he was like, oh, what an idiot. And I'm like, I'm so impressed he got it from the text. That
fantastic, Mario.
All
my God.
For that, but I had to zoom in on the plate and went,
from Jed's Daughter of the Dragon Mini, who happens to share Mark's therapist. Cool. All in all, I'd give this a 3/4 moon. Yep. I'm just a little disappointed we didn't get classic Scarlet because I love her retro design. Yeah, fair enough. But I can live with this. It's interesting to compare Mr. Knight's meeting room with Mr. Moon's. Both use Egyptian iconography, but Mark keeps it subtle in the background, while Bader rather calls attention to it with his lighting. Consistent with the personality, right? A nice character bit. Also, nice shout out to Mark's brief appearance in Devil's Reign #1. The framing is quite similar. Yeah, as we mentioned, the
Yeah, his
comparisons.
the feedback just made me think, like, we're talking about dead women, and what I was just saying about Randall. I'm just saying, like, there's a lot of dead women in his history, but
There
like,
is, my
do
God.
not
Yeah.
expect him to show up. So then we got feedback from John Shable, I think. Sorry, pronunciation again. Oh my, that epilogue probably means more Zodiac problems for Moon Knight. Also, Dr. Sturman is probably in big trouble. I mean, the last we saw her, she was in big trouble. So yeah, I
Yes.
wonder what's happening there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I mean, who knows what I mean, I am interested. I know OP on Discord is like trying to work out what the chronology of all this is, like with the Devil's Reign 1 and
Oh,
Devil's Reign
what?
4 and
Oh,
where we
yep.
are in all of that. But yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what happens, and
Yeah.
how long we're left waiting to hear what's happened with Dr. Sturman.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
she's in big trouble. It seems like she's got
it's
like
like big trouble all around, yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Um, but also, just while we're talking about it, Mark appears in Devil's Reign 4 this week. So if you don't
yeah,
want to buy it,
yeah.
his entire appearance is in the preview pages. So if
Okay.
you just want to read it this week, go look up preview pages for Devil's Reign 4, and that's all you need to know about what Mark's doing in prison.
I love how he's still like Mark. I mean, Moon Knight Mark is still included, like in the greater Devil's Reign. I
Yeah,
just love
and
it
I
how
also
he's yeah.
like how he's done the same mask as he had in the Lemire run in the
Mm,
Asylum. Yeah, like
yeah.
I'll just bandage my face and like do it. So it's
Very
pretty cool. It's a nice little bit. That's a
yeah.
nice little touch. So
Yes, a big shout out as well. I want to give it to John Shable. He shared his cosplay costume, which was like 2 years in the making. Phenomenal. So
incredible, incredible.
if you haven't seen it, Loonies, and you're in the Facebook group, or you're not in the group, join the group and go check out John Shable's costume. So well done, John. It's yeah. It's flabbergasted. That's all I'm saying. Fantastic. Another quick little message here from Marley Schaefer. The art gets better and better every issue, and I cannot agree with you more.
Yep.
Rebecca, I remember issue 1. I was a little critical of Cappuccio.
Sometimes you have to settle into a new artist's style, and he was new to us, and like
Yeah.
I knew I didn't hate it, and I knew I liked it. I just didn't know how much I'd grow to love it, and pairing him with Rachelle and those incredible colors. I mean, they
It's
literally
crazy.
it's perfect. It's just, I mean, like
Yeah.
I can't imagine anyone else, like even say, my beloved Greg Smallwood. I can't imagine him pulling this off and it feeling the same, because there's a
Yeah.
certain sort of kinetic energy to this run.
Yeah.
That I'm just really enjoying it, and yeah. So
Yeah.
next feedback, I've got Lena.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what Lena thinks of Scarlet.
Yes.
All I can say is, wow. Okay, I lied. I have more to say. I've been a fan of Stained Glass Scarlet ever since I read her first appearance, which was a masterpiece by Munch and Sienkiewicz. And while I would have liked to see Ms. Fascinera again, I found this new take on the character to be unexpected and very fascinating. I loved the dialogue between Scarlet and Hunter's Moon, and the story battle between her and Conch was amazing. I believe I spied the MCU Moon Knight amongst the chorus of fists. Oh, well, there's another one to go back and look at.
Yeah.
So that's everyone's homework for this week. Go look at the chorus of what's it called? I bet
Ordination.
that's what it is. The chorus of
Yeah.
ordination.
Yeah.
Work out who they all are. You're not going to be able to work out all they are, but like guess a few of them. The art was superb, especially the design of this new version of Scarlet. I think this may be my favorite issue of this volume yet, which is saying something because I haven't disliked any of them. So yes, I think everyone's liked it so far, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lot
Yeah,
riding
absolutely.
on Noel.
A lot riding on Noel. I mean, let's have a listen to what Noel has to say. Noel wrote in, host of the absolutely fantastic new podcast, Trapped in the World, the Howard the Duck podcast. It just started. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. Please do.
Definitely do. Even I've listened.
Oh, he's so funny. He and Russell. Anyway, let's hear what Noel has to say about this issue. I haven't heard it as well.
Hey guys, it's Noel Tate. I'm going to give you my little 2 cents about the new issue of Moon Knight, number 8. Overall, I think it's
through.
a pretty cool issue.
Can you hear that,
I'm
Rebecca?
Really
Yeah.
Okay.
digging the art. He's just, I say it every time, he's getting better and better. And this time there's a lot of sort of Declan Shelby vibes happening with this one. I'm not exactly sure what it is or why it is, but there's something I'm just getting that kind of vibe. Maybe it's because as we get into the story, Dr. Basher is calling himself Dr. Moon, which I think is pretty cool. It's funny that he's wearing the suit, the Mr. Knight suit, and he's talking to our ex-detective Flint about the Scarlet Fascinera situation. And Flint really looks like Declan Shelby drew him. And I don't know if Alessandro is perhaps referencing some of those comics, but just a couple panels there where they're talking in the Midnight Mission look very Declan Shelby to me. But it's a pretty neat story as it goes. Hunter Moon going to hunt down what's happening with Stained Glass Scarlet. I'm not exactly sure what she is now. This all seems very, maybe I missed something, but this seems very Grant Morrison, like when stories become reality and stories are what make the world go round and therefore comic books are real or whatever. But it is pretty cool as a story, and I like the look of this minor god of Stained Glass Scarlet or whatever she is. It's all a little psychedelic, and of course, since it is a little psychedelic, introducing Khonshu to the fight was pretty neat. And the kind of redesign, I guess, I don't know if this was how Khonshu looked in Age of Khonshu, but it looks awesome, and the rendering of it looks really cool, and the fight looks cool, and the little wrapping up the story with Dr. Basher talking to Reese and apologizing, I thought was kind of neat, and I hope we see him longer term in comics. It would be kind of neat to have the two Fists of Khonshu team up, which I think that's where we're sort of getting. I didn't understand the epilogue. I had to look up Rutherford Winter. It looks like he was a Daughters of the Dragon villain or something, an ex-Shield or Hydra guy, whatever. I don't really care. I guess we'll see where that goes. But I liked this comic, and I liked it a lot better than the last issue, number 7. It doesn't feel as decompressed or anything. It's like, I think the pace was cool. I wasn't waiting for it to be over. I really enjoyed it. So I would give this one an 8, whichever that is on the Connoisseur scale. Mostly I feel like for the art, it's nice having the regular artist back, and I think he's stepped it up even more. I haven't had a chance to read Devil's Reign number 4, is it yet? But I have a feeling that I don't really need to quite yet. One final note, I went to my LCS today to see, pick up issue 8. It's Wednesday today. They should have had it. And Diamond is late. They said it was on a train in New Jersey somewhere, and the comics probably won't come in till next week. So once again, the monopoly of Diamond distributors messes up my enjoyment of comic book reading. So thanks a lot, corporations. Anyway, guys, take care.
Diamond, you suck. But thank you, Noel. Thank you for that. The Big Beautiful Yellow Man, Noel, just to let you know, 8 out of 10,
that's
Big
the
Beautiful
8.
Yellow
And,
Man.
yeah, no, I think I mean, he enjoyed it as much as we all did. Well, maybe not quite as much, but like he's on that level. We all it gets a good good thumbs up all round.
Yeah,
and
and I
mean,
think
I think a lot of the things that we don't really know where some of this is going, and but we'll see. I mean,
Yep. Absolutely. Also, as well, I think Age of Khonshu. Khonshu's pretty accurately drawn still. Noel, it might be just a little kind of the stylistic.
I think some of the
twinge
Shelby
by-
stuff is having Flint back and
Yep.
being in the church and having the sort of structuralism of the church architecture sort of strikes me as something that he would also do.
Okay.
And also, I think having his Khonshu, the big, the big bird skull back, and
Yes.
in that size that I can see why would you say it. I mean, like, I didn't get that so much, but I could see why it would hark back to the Shelby art.
Yeah, and I mean, his Cappuccio's Conchu is just a little bit slightly different to what you'd be used to as well. But thank you so much, Noel. That's awesome stuff. That's a big one. That's a big one from you, Noel. So I'll take it.
Yeah, for sure.
Rebecca.
Yeah.
I think that pretty much wraps it up for us. Thank you so much again. I mean, I can't wait to catch up with you again.
We're going to be talking a lot in the next few months.
We are. Yeah. I hope you don't get sick of me.
I'll find some new T-shirts, I promise.
Yes, please, Rebecca. Not that one again, please.
I literally wore it just for this. I'm going to change as soon as we finish recording.
Oh no, that was good. You got me. I didn't notice it at first when we just first met up, but then once I hit record and I saw he's like, hang on, what is going on?
Doing?
So a huge thanks as always. But Loonies, we'll see and hear Rebecca again for sure. Thank you so much for the live stream, Rebecca. Yes, people get to see us as well. Anything you'd like to plug just before we go?
Trying to think what I've done most recently. Let us say the DC Animated Universe podcast we've been doing.
Okay.
I don't remember what we've done. Like some Lego movie.
Yeah, sure.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah.
You know, we're doing some more Lego ones coming up. That like we're in this kind of weird moment before we get to sort of Justice League Dark and the actual Lego Batman movie. So,
nice.
But we're going our way through all the DC Animated Universe movies. So
that's awesome.
That
a big shout out
to you know.
Mm-hmm.
Give it
jump on board. Yeah, listen to Rebecca again. She's got great insight as well. A big shout out to Alan as well.
I know nothing about DC, which is the funniest thing. Like, so Alan comes with all the facts, and I go, "Yeah, I quite like Dick Grayson." You know, that's usually every episode. It's quite like Dick Grayson. Like, when's he gonna be?
Oh, he appeared in this one. I really like that episode.
He did appear in the latest one. So, finally vindicated.
But definitely check it out. DCAU will be in our show notes, but always in our link to the collective, as they are the collective members as well. Rebecca, we mentioned about the test group watch. We'll be doing that. We'll be on Discord, on the Facebook group, on Messenger as well. So any loonies that may be keen, just drop in there, find Rebecca or myself.
I'm thinking of texting it this weekend.
Yep.
Like, I don't know when. Because it'll just, I'm working a lot this weekend, so just occasionally dropping into Discord and saying, shall we try group watch on Disney? Shall we try group watch doing this? And see if we can so we can work out whether to schedule in. And also give us your thoughts about good times to do group watches.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
Obviously me and Ray are not the majority. Like, the majority I'm guessing of the group and of our listeners are American. So, you need to let us know when's good for you, because like we can be a little bit flexible, and we can even do it more than once, because like the group watch will be we can do one with Ray, one with me, who knows, but so that's something we hope to do this weekend, is like test it with a Hawkeye episode or something.
Exactly. And don't worry, I'm sure Rebecca and myself I think we'll be more than happy to watch it more than once. I
have a feeling that might be.
Exactly. Now, just before I forget, I didn't put this in the notes, but I wanted to shout out. So I got a message from Lena again, one of the systems in our community as well. And Lena brought to my attention DID Awareness Day on March 5th. So would love to do something related to that. And they suggested that just putting out an invitation to any systems with DID or OSDD that may be listening, and write in as to what the day means to them, and then and then we can just kind of read it out as well, and go through a particular episode. We'll have it DID Awareness Day episode, and we can go through that. I think that's a great idea. We have, I mean, Rebecca and I, we know a few Looney members that have the DID, that are part of a DID system, but as Lena rightly says, I mean, we're at 1.7 1,700 members. There might be more, so just a little shout out to anyone who may want to. Of course, you don't have to as well. It's just something that we want to throw out there. So March 5th, we'll keep an eye out for that as well. And also, finally, Elena just mentioned, if you want to use a pseudonym or anything like that, anything that,
anything that makes it easier for you, it's fine.
Exactly.
Do whatever you need to do. Russell's just suggested we could do a little fundraiser, so we will.
Fantastic!
Yeah,
good idea.
I won't be here on March the 5th, but I'll be around.
Oh no, we'll get.
But sooner, I'll be thinking of you. I will send in something.
Rebecca, I will be printing out a 1-to-1 scale cardboard cutout of you, and I'll be putting it just over here, just over there.
Yeah, that's perfect.
So no, great idea, Lena. Thank you so much, and we'll keep tuned in, stay tuned, whatever Ray's trying to say, and we'll do it. So big thank you again again, Rebecca. Next phase, episode 266. It's already recorded. This is a weird one. It was absolutely fun to do. Guest is Justin the Owl Osgood, the left velvet drape, and it's a wax and gibbous. It's the other side of the moon. So our segment, The Other Side of the Moon, is now all about the other side of Moon Knight creators. So we're looking at Doug Mench's other story that he did apart from Moon Knight. And it's Lords of the Ultra Realm from 1986 to 1987. Nothing to do with Moon Knight, but again, it's just something else that a Moon Knight alumni has done. It's a 6-part mini plus a special that Justin and I talk about. And Rebecca, if you thought Hive Strangers was crazy, Lords of the Ultra Realm, my gosh, takes the cake. It is it is bonkers. I loved it. I loved chatting with Justin about it. Go check it out next week, loony listeners. After you bask in the glory that is issue 8 and just, read it again and again. A big thank you once again to all our patroonies. Thank you so much. Please consider becoming a patroonie yourself on patreon.com/ITK Moon Knight. A big thank you to CLZ Comics, again, collectors.com. Check it out for all your database and comic book collecting organising needs. And a big thank you to Daniel Doing, creator of Fringe Knight. It's an original indie comic based on Erie, Pennsylvania's very own mysterious superhero. Check out his Patreon page, patreon.com/FringeKnight27. Our good man, Drew Toombs, pumping out the music on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/Toombs, but also on Bandcamp at lurkmusic with a ck.bandcamp.com. And finally, Dreamland Comics, the online store, the only store that is affiliated with ITK. Use the code MOON and get 20% off all their online back issues. Go find yourself some more stained glass Scarlet stuff. And finally, as Rebecca mentioned, alluded to, we are part of the collective. Go check out Rebecca on the likes of DCAU, the DC Animated Universe podcast with Alan Sharp, awesome dude. Also, Sons of the Dragon and Immortal Iron Fist podcast. Rebecca's there as well. Check it out. And there's just a whole swathe of nice shows there to check out. So again, check out the link. And finally, contact us on email, feedback at ITK Moon Knight. We've got a website, itkmoonnight.com. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Discord, Get Vocal, and Podchaser. And incidentally, any reviews on Podchaser, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify would be greatly appreciated. It will help us get out there. Rebecca, our numbers, just incidentally, are looking so good. I think it's because of the upcoming TV show. I've been looking at the numbers for the podcast are looking good. So thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Big shout out. Yes, a big shout out to some other countries, Norway, Bulgaria, and Turkey that have been listening lately. Thank you so much. Rebecca, thank you once again. I know you've got a lot of work to do, always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Can't wait to do it again.
Yes, and with that, loony listeners, may Conchu watch over the denizens of the night. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Moon Knight and affiliated characters, stories and events are properties of Marvel Characters Incorporated. Materials used and discussed within the podcast are intended for critique and review purposes only under the fair dealing concept of the current Copyright Act. The views, information or opinions expressed during the podcast are solely those of the individuals involved and do not necessarily represent those of the copyright owners.